Live.
What's up, YouTubers? Welcome to the LonelyFans podcast. Today, as you can see, I'm finally on camera. But we have our esteemed panel, Albie, a fun guy, and then I'm your host, Carson Daly. And today we're going to talk about Modok and the parallels between that and Harley Quinn. Is that true?
That was good.
Yeah,
That was perfect.
it's LonelyFans podcast request live, where we post your top 10 hits of LonelyFans.
No, we're not doing
My
that.
censorship paper.
If you guys have
Censorship
suggestions,
staple.
keep them to yourselves.
Right,
Carson Daly got
we're called the
famous.
lonely fans, not the communal fans.
That's true.
Touche.
Carson Daly. Wow. I haven't.
We can't say his name too much. He's going to ask for royalties. So we'll get started on Modok.
Speaking of 90s, let's talk about Modok. And they're left for 90s. 90s pop
Hooba
culture.
Stank.
That's true. What was it? What was the band again?
Hooba
Third Eye
Stank and Third Eye Blind Melon. Was that it?
The second, if there's any episode that really went this is a great show, because the first episode was good, but
Yes.
it was the second episode that made me went this is a quality show. This is a show about a well-known villain, but I can't say necessarily popular villain, but they kind of knew how to, in a satirical fashion, humanize the character like crazy.
They did.
I felt bad for him.
Yeah, true. I felt bad for him, or I was kind of rooting for the couple, even though I felt that is not a very good marriage. But you know, especially at the end of the second episode, where because they got stuck in that because the time machine broke, they pretty much had to see their entire lives go through.
They did.
Such.
And then they ran out and stopped them from using the time portal because they had to be there years later.
Which I thought that was funny. I thought that was.
It was.
That has to be the worst plan ever, but I like that they.
Very Rick and Morty vibes. Very negatives of time travel.
Well, they're at the concert, and she's crowd surfing, and he just goes away. I'm like, no, stay with her. What are you doing?
Yeah, man. Oh my god! And the guy, the narrator who was selling albums.
Yeah,
and they played a Third Eye Blind like. I don't know. I've only heard 3 of Third Eye Blind songs. I'm sure there's more.
I'm trying to think of one. I've heard it a lot, and I can't think of one, so I fail. I've definitely heard that band a lot.
That was a cheap joke. Yeah, no, Third Eye Blind's cool. But.
So, as I pause and stare at my face on camera, I think that's what I was going to say. Patton Oswalt and his team, whoever hired him, or if it was his baby child, and the writing is great, the script is great. I can tell that he cared about this, him and some other people. The voice acting's on point. There's not a lot of bad about this show. There's not really any bad I can pick up.
The dialogue was pretty good, man. I was expecting robot chicken humor.
Yeah, it wasn't
sprinkled in there. But overall, I thought it was pretty good, man. I thought they were gonna, cheap out with the script. It was good. I guess it's probably because it was Patton Oswalt's passion project, right?
Yeah,
that's what I think. That's why I think it was so good. Because Patton Oswalt, I wish he would just guest star on this podcast, or at least watch this. Has never disappointed me as a actor or comedian. Even his commercials, I look forward to.
Even in King of Queens, he didn't disappoint you.
I didn't watch that. Maybe I should.
Was he in King of? I actually only watched a couple of episodes of King of.
Is that a TV show? I assume.
Yeah. It's one of those shows that certain people think is it's the greatest sitcom. I'm like, I watch it. It's Kevin James. He's a postal man, or would he work for FedEx or something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Jerry Stiller was their dad. That was I mildly I remember the show. It was a good show for its time, or a decent show for its time. But
it's a good show for its time. That's timeless. Is Harley Quinn. You like that segue?
Harley Quinn really.
Maybe Modok can make reference to King of Queens and
second
hopefully
season?
They do a second season.
Because Harley Quinn had 2 seasons, right?
Yeah, and it's gonna have a third one upcoming.
Yeah, Modok deserves a second season. Back to Harley Quinn.
Especially the way it ended. We need what it's developing to, like
yes.
it's like really like.
Harley Quinn, I wasn't going to get the chance. I was like, oh, it's taking the place of the Deadpool show. I'll watch it later. But then I was like, oh, started picking up on it. This is actually good. Let me go forward with it.
Which one, Modok or
Harley Quinn? I knew Modok was going to be good. We
Okay.
all three of us knew that. But Harley Quinn surprised me. I was like, it's better than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, you had like reservations about it?
I did. I was like, all right, are they trying to be too edgy? Are they trying to be too political? Where's the line? Where do they find it? But each character represented another aspect of the community, which is great.
See, when Josh showed me that show, I was like, because I had the DC Universe app when we were watching. It's like, oh, it's probably going to be some like Bruce Timm type of comic, like animation and humor. Then I saw it and I heard cursing and all the language. I'm like, whoa, this is totally different than what I expected.
Not to mention the violence level. I mean, this is something for both Modok and Harley Quinn.
True.
The violence level got pretty high in an entertaining fashion. I think part of why they're able to do it is that it's kind of done in a very satirical fashion. So when you do a satire, general consequences don't mean anything. So you can do horrible things, but it's not something that's gonna, bite you in the ass like it would in a reality-based show.
Yes. Yes.
But what does hold consequences is, everyone in the character bubble. So, characters you have close relationship, that will have consequences. But all there's no such thing as an innocent bystander. All bystanders are like a free for all. Because like in Modok, most of his henchmen that are faceless, because they have, and I liked, the usage of the henchmen uniforms. I'm pretty sure they all have like personal backstories and all that, but you're kind of
never fix his arm, guys. Never
except for him. And I thought that dude was funny. I mean, the introduction to him was hilarious. He shoots his arm first, and he's not being hysterical. He goes like, "I'm sorry, I thought this coffee was for
that was
anyone,"
great.
and then he just walks away. And I thought, that was like just a one-time joke, but then he just keeps coming back. I'm like, "Hey, you're gonna put my arm back," and yet he. Starts
to
like
Modok in a way.
Like we're lying Modok like, and there's even a point where we get a backstory where his like I believe his husband comes in.
Yes, he's like no, it was
his
so
husband is like this, has his camo on, he goes hunting and everything. Yeah. He's pretty much something that you don't expect a gay person to come in, but he's coming in, and then you get to know him a lot.
And they don't make it a thing. It's just like normal that they're gay. Who cares? It was good.
Yeah, they don't make it to an entire episode. Oh, let's explain this. Like, no, you don't have to. This is fine.
This is what they are.
Right. And I think the audience understands that, especially the audience that this show is geared towards.
Yes.
I'm surprised there's not a campaign or something. Hey, can we release the figure for him? I'd totally buy an action figure of that.
They might actually, the Modok action figures. It's a 90s based comedic show. No, not 90s based. They reference 90s, so action figures should definitely be allowed.
They found the formula, man. 90s nostalgia and Marvel and stop motion. Yeah.
Yep. Pat, man, I want to talk to him about this. I really do.
My favorite, actually, one of my favorite characters is the daughter. Actually,
she's really good.
Voiced by Melissa, who played Amy Santiago in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I didn't know. Oh, I need to finish that.
And what's funny is that if you know that character in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, she's like more stuck up, proper, like a nerd, like a full of nerd. While this one, she's like the popular girl, but really, no, not just popular. She's a mean girl, and she is like really horrible. Someone who, when she grows up, she'd be even more evil than Modok, and it's hilarious. Which and that was like another favorite episode I had. That was the third episode where she goes with him on the like this leadership conference, and she teaches him how to like really mess with people's heads, like to kind of be on top of everyone. Like, hey, talk about how those other two look very trim, and then how the other guy feels very self-conscious about his weight and everything. Or like even make mentions about like, oh, I got tweezers because something about her bush eyebrows and all that, like really mean girl stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's brutal. and she's not just brutal; she's like smart. Like,
oh,
yeah. And I think they're fully aware, but it's kind of funny how they say she's a really good figure skater when you look at her character. She doesn't need a figure skate. She hovers, but
yeah, she could. She just would have to go like that all the time.
Right. Or it's not hard for her to do like the twirls or anything like that, or the Flying Lotus from Blaze of Glory, starring Will Ferrell and John Peter.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying who was in that movie.
I don't know if people talk about Blaze of Glory as much.
Blades of Glory is pretty good though. It's a good movie.
For me, I love stop motion, and like if you go, I think it's on their Instagram. You can find out like who works on set and how they utilize like the different figures and expressions. So essentially, this is the Hasbro. So obviously, this isn't based off the show, but from them, like I saw they have like multiple face plates. So it's cool to see like the behind the scenes footage that they do for their stop motion. Sorry, this is just one of those like stop motion ready things.
Well, I'm intrigued. Yeah.
Then boring out on, but it got me thinking. I was like, man, I wonder if I can make like cutout pieces for the mouth to try and emulate that. I thought it was pretty cool.
And the eyes, like some would be.
I would just need a voice actor to do it. So are you available?
Yes.
This is no stream, guys. This is a live pitch to get Albie to do the voiceover for my stop motion.
Sure.
I mean, me and Albert could do it. Me and Batman have already done one. So
he's already done Deadpool,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So you have to do it. We got to do it.
Maybe you can do an episode pitch where Captain America shows up. I'll voice Captain America. No, I'll voice Thor. And
yes,
like worse. Like I'd probably like imitate an Australian accent, even though he's supposed to be like Norse. But
you can be a satirical Thor. That'd be great.
I'm worthy with my hammer here.
I wish we would get merchandise from that show because I would totally buy it.
I'm the mighty Thor. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a very impractical thing I got.
As you can see, one of the LonelyFans is worthy, guys. So
yes,
for a good 5 seconds. Yeah, geez, I need to get a Gatorade now. After doing that, or a Powerade. We're not affiliated specifically. Any sort of electrolyte
based
hydrating drink with
any sponsor that wants to do that. Any electrolyte sponsor wants to throw away, we'll just drink it.
Sure.
It's got what plans need.
So I mean, like, I hope there is a season 2. The cynical part of me is like, oh, they probably won't if it's not as successful. I know when the show first came out, there was a lot of hype behind it because it was the Marvel fix in between Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki. So it's like, oh, it's a Marvel fix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would love a season 2, and I wish there was merchandise made of it because I'd totally buy that John Hamm Iron Man.
John Hamm.
Yeah.
He did good. He did good.
He was like, cheap shot to the head, I know, but I was aiming for literally any other part of your body. Yeah. And then he knows he's watching like the British Bake Off, like in his
Oh, fighting him now. Are you watching the Great British Bake Off? That's a good show, by the way.
Do you guys wonder?
American Bake Off.
They made reference that the Monica, the scientist, like on her first day on the job, she killed a very famous Avenger, but I don't think they ever uncovered who. But they made that joke.
It wasn't Wonder Man
franchise. People, you'd really ruin it. But yeah, I'm just curious, like if they're
who it was.
If they actually,
we can guess. Who do you think it was? Very famous Avenger. It wasn't Iron Man. It wasn't Wonder Man.
I don't think it was Captain, because there was that other scene where he's like being killed by multiple Avengers, like so you get a shield thrown at him, laser. Even Hawkeye like kills him. Like
it wasn't Captain America. It wasn't Hawkeye. It wasn't Scarlet Witch. Could have been Goliath. Could have been Hulk. Could
be Hulk.
Ant-Man.
Maybe they did. I noticed maybe the Red's blood, but I was wondering if Red's reference to whatever uniform. Maybe Hank Pym Ant-Man. Although
it could have been Hank Pym as Giant Man.
Yeah. They didn't make reference to Hank Pym with the very first episode, the Pym like particles and how it's strong. Yeah. I don't know. I think they should do a second season, but I guess the cynical part of me is worried that because it's stop motion and those are pretty expensive, that's where. But I feel like
Harley Quinn segue.
True. But I do feel like Disney has the money though, or
they do have money.
Why not do a second season? Just see where it goes.
I hope. I'm optimistic about that. But that's what I like about this. It doesn't seem like it was a Disney involved project. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because it was on Hulu, it was more so this is a project. Work on it. They probably have guidelines you can't do this, and this with these Avengers characters. You know what I mean? But
plus the rule about time travel, it's completely different than it is than the rules in Endgame.
Yep. Yep. Because remember, time travel didn't really happen in Endgame. They did, but it was more multi-universal playing on the plane.
It's a more
they did it.
While Modok, it was straight up, make sure you don't interfere with this or don't interfere with that.
They straight up did time travel in Modok.
And then young Modok is going everywhere, but possibly ruining a bunch.
And in game, it was the dimension hopping, alternate reality hopping. That's it.
Yeah, which that's going to play into future stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see.
If a lot of people can get behind it, I'm sure we would see a second season of it.
I hope they do.
The thing I would think about is Crossing Swords going to get a second season, because that's the same. Because remember we talked about it's the same studio that produces Robot Chicken. And,
I need to watch that.
That's good enough to get them a second season. I don't see why Modok would, because they have the Marvel branding behind it.
True. Well, Crossing Swords, I saw it to see it, and I'm pretty sure a lot. I haven't.
I haven't watched it yet. I'm slipping. I haven't watched it yet.
I know, but now that you watch Modok, I probably will watch Crossing Swords.
Stupid name.
Yeah, but
it's adult oriented too. When you guys watch it, you'll get why.
But I was actually honestly surprised that Harley Quinn was getting a third season, because I felt like the second season wrapped a lot of it up, and in a lot of ways really well, I thought. But
AT&T loves money, man, except for Warner Brothers.
That's true.
Yep.
It was one of those successful things that came out of the DC Universe app, but I think it's all on HBO Max now, right?
It was the only thing I watched in the DC Universe app, to tell you the truth.
You never watched the classic Bruce Timm stuff, like Batman Adventures and all that stuff?
I don't think I did. I'm sure if I had it for a longer time, I would have taken advantage of it. I think by the time I was watching the DC Universe app, it was slowly being faded away, and that's when things got shifted to HBO Max. Yeah.
I think it got a third season now.
Yeah. We're doing that.
Well, yeah, I was just showing just the traditional one, but the one I like that style of Harley Quinn, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I remember.
I thought the hair's really nice. The outfit, it's similar to the Suicide Squad version and everything, but not blatantly so. I think the costuming is still pretty simple, but
so that's what I'm curious about. Do you know, or Roj, do you know if that look was inspired in the comics first, or was from Suicide Squad?
So as far as I know, that exact look may have been from Suicide Squad.
Because I never seen Harley in that style until that movie, so it's I'm glad they went that route. Because up until that point, this is all I knew about Harley Quinn in terms of her.
She's had other designs before that. We'd have to research it, because remember, her start was in the show. She's not a comic character first. She's Batman Animated Series character first.
Yeah, right.
So her having her own show makes perfect sense to me. She's back to where she started.
I think I've seen like images of Suicide Squad comics before the movie came out, and I think that was the first time I saw a style similar to that. But I was like, I thought it looked good, but I unfortunately didn't really take time to actually read any of the Suicide Squad comics. And then when the movie came out, that also kind of really, it dissuaded me from reading it, when really it should have done the opposite. Should have encouraged me, because like if you hear like the description of the Suicide Squad, it's supposed to be like a lot more dark. Like the characters are supposed to be like borderline more despicable. While I think the Suicide Squad movie didn't do enough like despicable things, and it just did that weird oh, we're family, we're in this together type thing.
Yeah, it's exactly what it should have. It should have interested you in the comic series, because that's what the first Avengers movie did for me. But I didn't get that at all when I watched Suicide Squad. It's just like, this was crap.
But now that version of, and I understand like the Harley Quinn animated show probably did the same thing, where they were doing despicable things, but they were also doing like, yeah, we're in this together type thing. But at least they developed their characters a lot better. They developed her relationship with Poison Ivy like a lot better. Like you see why they support each other, mostly because Harley Quinn was in a really abusive relationship with Joker. And then, in fact, I love the flashback where how Poison Ivy came to like, be really good friends with Harley Quinn, because she was like, you're like the first therapist that actually like listened to me and all that. Mm-hmm. So yeah. So that was a good like center of that show. In fact, I'm trying to find a Poison Ivy statue, but they didn't make one. But I want that specific one, because if you see other like versions, she's like overtly like sexualized. Which I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but for variety's sakes, I like the version they did in the animated show, where she was hot, but she didn't have to like be in lingerie all the time. In fact, she wore a jacket that I totally would have like gotten if it existed, to tell you the truth. All I got is this Riddler University.
Oh, I was wondering about that. I was like, Riddler? That's awesome.
That episode. So
I didn't compare. I'm wearing an SDSU brother shirt because my sister goes to SDSU.
I have a cat.
Go.
Yeah, cat. Yeah.
Cat. Go.
You're representing Catwoman, so
Cat is on my lap. So I'm like, all right, little cat for the show.
I like what they did with all the other characters too. Like, I think that's my favorite version of King Shark that I've seen.
That was like awesome. King Shark is one of my favorite characters, and Plant.
He's like this total tech nerd and stuff. And he's escaping his family because he didn't want to be in that arranged marriage.
And still bites people's head off. King Shark is I like King Shark and Flash, King Shark, and I'm a King Shark fan from all the times I've seen him now.
You'll love the new Suicide Squad movie then.
Hey,
dude.
It looks good. I'm just kind of sad that it's kind of going for. It almost looks like it's going for an I Am Group situation.
Yeah,
because he's not going to be totally like verbalized. Which I did see in other versions that is the case. So it's definitely not like But I thought it'd been cool, especially if you had Sylvester Stallone. I go like, maybe you can do more, but it's a wait and see. Like, that's not coming out till August, so we'll wait and see. But I can just say the design looks cool, and I trust James Gunn because James Gunn.
So, but if you want to see some Suicide Squad that's not completely comedic, check out Assault on Arkham.
I think I saw that one.
Based off the the Arkham universe. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that on HBO Max?
It should be because it's animated. I mean, it's based off the games though. It takes place after Batman Origins.
I'm such a bad DC animated series.
I think it takes place. Assault on Arkham's the games anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember watching it. I thought that was like pretty solid. It was kind of like watching it like they should have done this in the Suicide Squad movie. But
Suicide Squad was originally not supposed to be that way. I want to watch the director's cut. He's like, it was supposed to be dark. They changed
True.
So I want to watch it. Isn't it coming out?
August, yeah.
No. The director's cut of the first one.
Oh, the air cut or whatever.
I think
they made no mention, and I don't know. It probably didn't get as much demand as the Snyder cut, but in hindsight,
was there fan demand for the Snyder cut? I don't remember.
Yeah, there was.
Really?
There was, no joke.
I never liked any of that crap.
Yeah, no.
Release the Nolan cut. Come on, let's do it. We need Dark Knight.
The Nolan cut?
Yeah.
What is it?
Gosh, the Nolan cut would not have Superman because it doesn't. At least in the Dark Knight universe, Superman.
Yeah, there's no Superman.
They ground crazy. No,
there's no other superheroes at all that I know of.
Yeah, no, there wasn't.
In the Nolan verse. Right.
Yeah, Bane was just someone on like a bunch of roids and.
Yeah, they could have done so much better. They didn't need all his daughter at all. Like, oh man, I'm not getting started.
How funny is Bane in like the cartoon series?
Oh yeah.
How the villains like played tricks on him, saying, "Oh, we don't have a chair for you. You have that small chair." And this chair is like uncomfortable.
And he kept doing that voice. Yeah.
And then I like how they create a new Arkham in the Lazarus Pit, pretty much. But it's supposed to be, he really focuses on more rehabilitation and stuff. Really what most prisons should be like. And I thought, and then, Harley Quinn doesn't make her bed, and he goes like, I can't pay favorites. Sorry.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn cannot attend the talent show.
She actually got penalized for real shit. That was good.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
But you're right. Prison should be about rehabilitation. The show they did that.
Exactly.
Yeah, they had Tom Hardy do the voice of that, of Bane and Harley Quinn series.
No.
He came back for it. Yeah, that was him.
I forgot who did the voice. They had a pretty impressive voice cast. Like Kelly Kuko, which I would have never really thought about her because I never watched Big Bang. I never will. And then I've been told But I see her in this, and she does an incredible job as Harley. I mean, it's kind of an interesting, and I love what Margot Robbie did, but I like for what this version is. Kelly Quote did a good job of like, psychotic, but also like super relatable, whatnot. It's like, I thought that was a really good performance by her. So yeah, mad respect for Kelly Cuoco. Alan Tudyk actually plays a pretty good Joker. Probably one of my favorite scenes with him as Joker is when he finally he finds out who Bruce Wayne is, and he's actually disappointed. He goes like, "Man, that's it. I love the chase," and now he finds out he's just some rich guy with like parent issues. And
then he's like, "Oh, where's my electric car, Bruce? Oh, where the fuck's my electric car, Bruce?"
Steve the Pirate was the voice.
He did a great Joker. He did a
Steve
great
the Pirate.
Joker.
Yeah, Steve the Pirate does the voice of Joker, and he does it incredibly well. Who else? We mentioned King Shark. Ron Funch does the voice. If I'm pronouncing his name right. Christopher Milani, Detective Staver from Law and Order. He's the voice of Commissioner Gordon, which that was freaking.
Commissioner Gordon's character is freaking excellent.
Talk about having Commissioner Gordon at his lowest.
Jason Alexander, George Costanza's on there. Cyborg.
And
George Costanza. I mean, Jason Alexander leaving the show.
Yeah, remember Seinfeld? George Costanza, the short, bald one.
No. Who's he voice acting? My bad.
Oh,
Cyborg Man.
Who?
It's spelled Cy, and then Borgman is his last name, so it's Cyborg Man.
Oh,
he's the landlord.
The landlord, Cyborgman. Yes, that was one of my favorite characters, actually.
I did like how they used. I like how they used Diedrich Bader as Batman because he did voice Batman in what was it called, the Batman, the Brave and the Bold? Or was it? It was one.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I remember that.
Yeah.
But if it's not Kevin Conroy voicing Batman, I'm happy with Diedrich Bader. I like him a lot.
Yeah, actually, I'd say his voice is very solid.
Kevin Conroy is
next to Kevin Conroy, I'd say probably he's the best. There were other people. I think Jeremy West was another one that he was okay, but no. No,
I'm looking at the Wanda Sykes was Queen of Fables.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wanda
killed it. Wanda literally killed it. So she slayed it.
Speaking of like, no like general consequences, like how she had like wolves like destroy that like family reunion and
I'm a true villain.
And then that guy comes back for his revenge story.
Remember that?
It's oh my god! I thought that was no, definitely yes, amazing.
Did you have everybody, or you had this?
I didn't realize Alfred Molina was Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa! I didn't.
And that's the other thing that I love that one episode where they're at Mr. Freeze's lair. I thought that was really good. But I keep going like, man, there's so much you can do with Mr. Freeze. Why hasn't a live action property done it right? Yeah,
Please do it right. 1997.
Nope, don't. I think we had an episode about this.
Hey, man.
This was like number 4 in my like top worst movies of geekdom. And a part of it was because Arnold Schwarzenegger. I love the dude, but
personally,
and I'm sure he tried, but also the script did nothing.
The script was made to be a funny, hokey O'Day back in the show.
Well, Mr. Freeze's story was tragic, but it's funny how this satire, this comical show,
Mr. Cold,
pretty deep episode, like how he sacrifices his life for his wife, and
a Mr. Freeze game would be cool. I'm looking at you, Rocksteady Studios.
Remember, that was like the best part in Arkham City when you had to fight Mr. Freeze. That was one of the best levels ever. I thought that was amazing.
He has DLC as well, but I need to check out.
I should probably look them. But Gotham, that TV show had a chance because they did bring in Mr. Freeze, and it was kind of a lackluster. It was lackluster. Man.
What was Gotham trying to do? It's like, let's leave out Batman, but let's create. I guess wanted to create the setup for all the villains of Gotham City.
That's the thing. They claimed that they were leaving out Batman, but it was pretty much
Batman-centric.
Batman, yeah. Like, even though the kid was like too young to do anything interesting, they like did their best to like focus a good amount on him and make obvious reference. Oh, he's gonna be Batman. Yeah, we get it.
And all those characters didn't start in Gotham.
Yeah, right.
Mr. Freeze didn't start in Gotham that I know of.
Yeah. It like a lot of the timing didn't like work.
Yeah, nothing against Cameron Monaghan, but he was terrible as Joker, dude. I didn't like his Joker at all.
Right.
Yeah. But I think the reason why they had that show is because they owed Benjamin McKenzie another 4 seasons of OC. So he's like, all right, we'll put you in something called Gotham with Commissioner Gordon.
And maybe I felt bad for Benjamin McKenzie because maybe you would hope they would focus more on him, but
I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. So yeah, they did more with Christopher Milani's Commissioner Gordon than Gotham did. Like I thought the saddest was when he was actually staying in his daughter's dorm room, having a bathrobe, and then he's having a lot of like attachment issues with Batman, like texting him like crazy and everything.
Seeing Alfred Molina as Mr. Freeze confirms that he's going to be in the new Spider-Man movie, so I'm excited about that.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
I was like, what?
He's coming back as Doc Ock, which but I mean, we'll see. We will see who they bring back, and we'll see what they do with it.
So I don't mean to take the shine away from Harley and.
No, it's fine. Like, actually, I was thinking it'd be cool if they did do a Harley Quinn movie, like an animated Harley Quinn movie, one that you see in theaters and stuff. I would totally, with these characters, I would totally see a full feature film on screen with it.
It would so work. It would so work.
Yeah, if they could do a TV show of Teen Titans Go, of a movie of Teen Titans Go, then they should totally do a movie of like Harley Quinn, like that. imagine and I thought the animation on the TV show was pretty good, entertaining up. But imagine having a big budget of a feature film, and I think it will sell a lot more than people think. And since DC's not in the whole we have this one universe thing, because they're not really doing that part well, then they might as well just go nuts and release all these different versions. We have different Jokers right now, so I don't think it hurts to have different Harley Quinns on screen. But both Margot Robbie and Kelly Kuko can share.
You have that. There's always going to be that Harley fan base, and when Suicide Squad 2 comes out, that Harley Quinn's going to be cosplayed to shit by everybody once convention returns. You know what I mean?
Especially that.
And Harley Quinn doesn't even need DC Comics anymore. Deadpool doesn't need Marvel; they're their own thing.
Yeah, I think it's guaranteed. Well, I mean, I guess the one thing I would say is Birds of Prey didn't do so well in the box office. I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, I thought it was solid. I did hear that the director said that there was a lot of studio interference. So
yeah,
I believe that.
Which is why I think, back to the Harley Quinn thing, I think for hearing from you guys, it seems like the animated series or the animated DC properties do way better than live action, because it's not as much studio involved.
Yeah.
Because the suits haven't caught on. The animation's the future. They will only look at those comic book sales. I'm so ready for animated movies to kick out Marvel and DC live action, so they can see the value of hand drawn or studio animation.
Into the Spider-Verse, man.
Into the Spider-Verse is perfect. That was
probably the best Spider-Man. I think the
best Spider-Man movie to date.
Yeah,
it worked. What did work about it? It all worked. I remember the soundtrack worked. The character, the plot worked, the character development. There's not much negative about that film as a superhero movie, in my opinion.
So imagine, here's the thing I've been thinking about lately. So imagine if DC got behind an animated character like Static Shock, like that. You know what I mean?
The Dakotaverse. Yeah, there's a lot of characters in the Dakotaverse that are underused. I think they have brought some of those characters back. Static Shock could do his own movie without any Dakotaverse characters. They can use Icon, but Icon's too much like Superman in the way it looks. Static Shock is a well-known household name for those that grew up watching him. He is young enough, hip enough, old enough at the same time to capture crazy like Miles Morales. I think it's a call. Good call. Dakotaverse works.
Yeah. And if they want to play it safe, they could do Harley Quinn first, because it's a guaranteed property.
Yeah. Yes.
It has the name.
Shit, they did a live action movie. They did Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey. It used to be called Birds of Prey, but it was let's just make it Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey.
It was unfortunate that they had to do that, but also it's one thing to change it while it's in production, but when it released, But I totally be behind. I mean, I'm glad they're doing a third season, but I almost think they probably should have done a full movie instead. But hopefully, maybe this third season will pick up steam and then they'll do a movie.
Might be a cry for a movie,
yeah.
So you guys would rather see a movie than a third season, if you had your choice?
Me personally, if I had to choose, I think I would prefer a movie, mostly because, as like I said before, I felt like the second season wrapped things up pretty well. I mean, I still think they can do a lot with the third season now that Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy are together. It's not like it's going to be easy from there. It's there'll be challenges to come.
Go ahead. I'll wait.
No.
I think the movie, I'm going with Albie on this one, the movie will have a larger impact, and DC needs a film in movie impact. And I think Harley Quinn can do it. Because even those who didn't watch the show would watch the show after they saw the movie, if the movie was good, which it wouldn't be if they got the right people. Keep the same people to make it a big budget.
That'd be interesting if they did a movie where it didn't take place after the second season, but maybe there was a mission that happened, and they kind of what they do with the animes. They do a lot of non-canonical movies. There's a lot of My Hero Academia ones.
What's anime? I never heard this.
It's.
I'm getting, as I have my Hero Academia figures.
Oh, that's true. I've been seeing your. Yeah, I've been seeing your. You have a bigger My Hero Academia collection than me. I only have 2 figures, and they're not even main characters.
You have Bakugo?
No, I got Hawks right here.
Ooh,
he's
cool.
He's
he's
fifth rated, fourth rated hero.
Yeah, I think technically, yeah, maybe around that. I think maybe almost even
third or fourth.
Yeah.
I think now, after All Might went down, and look what they did. Look what Hero Academia did with superhero genre as a whole.
Yeah,
the quirks just set the world format. Everybody has powers, but they're all not good, and they all can't be heroes. Heroes now, it works.
And the fact it's a world full of people that has powers, it's a matter of like, how do you like?
How strong are they? How do you use them? How do you promote yourself? Yeah. Because everybody has, most people, 99% of the population has some type of quirk.
Yeah, even if it's like a simple thing, like the Midoriya's mother, she has a quirk, but it's not like she's a superhero. She just uses it, like up around the house.
Hey, spoilers, man! I don't know that.
Well, it's in the beginning. Like,
I know.
It's a spoiler. Spoiler.
Right, would you guys rather have a second season of Modok or a Harley Quinn movie?
Modok.
Yeah.
Well,
I
personally,
feel like,
Modok.
Because you found the closure with
Yeah. Harley Quinn stopped at a really good point.
Yeah. And a very epic shot too, like doing like a Thelma and Louise type thing, and like, gosh, I want to get a poster of that, but it's really hard to find merch for that particular version of Harley Quinn. It sadly doesn't like sell as much, but no, I would prefer a Modok. Like, heck, imagine a Modok movie, stop motion animated Modok movie.
I would lose
that. Would be heck. Maybe they can't do it. If they can't do a second season, maybe they go, let's do a movie. This could be Stupid Monkeys. Like, I think it would be their first crack doing stop animation. I think it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Marvel, it's like, we're going to give you guys a movie, just not the budget of an MCU.
They can still make it work. I think it's rock.
We're going to have Iron Man in the movie. Oh, Robert Downey, John Hamm. He's coming.
I think it would work.
They're like, the dude from Mad Men? Isn't he playing Bruce Wayne somewhere? He looks more like a Bruce Wayne.
Bruce
Wayne. I can't get over that. I wish I could hear that call from his agent. John, got you a role in the Marvel universe.
And he goes like, "Oh, fine. When am I Mr. Fantastic? Am I Galactus? I'm Galactus. I am totally yes. I have the mannerisms Galactus, right? Okay. Where do I suit up?"
Here's the thing. Nope. You don't. You're going to be Iron Man. Wow, Robert's really bestowing this on me. He doesn't even know about this project, but get this, moving toys.
Get this.
Has there been a stop motion movie? I'm trying to think.
Marvel? Not a Marvel. Like the last stop motion anime movie I can think is Wes Anderson's movies. Isle of Dogs.
Oh, I think the last one I saw was Frankenweenie. I think it was claymation, but it's stop motion. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's done. Yeah, that one was solid. Isle of the Dogs was really good, but I think the last stop motion animated movie I liked was Fantastic Mr. Fox,
which you have.
Which I do. I'm not going to reach for it, but it's.
I would love for them to make this into a movie, man. Can you imagine the merch they would sell?
Oh yeah, like, and with the movie, they can probably get the rights to actually show the other characters, like Captain America.
Could you imagine the parents explaining to the kids, "Daddy, why did he shoot his arm off?"
Or actually imagine parents not taking them to see. I want to see. I like, no, it's not. But there's Iron Man. Well, Iron Man is the bad guy in this one. Or
or John Hamm Iron Man.
Yeah, right. That's how I explain to my. That boring ass show I watch that you say it's boring. It's just a bunch of men in suits smoking, drinking. Yeah, that guy's playing Iron Man, and they'll be like, "Oh, okay."
They'll be like, "No."
Yeah, Yeah, you don't. This is a boring superhero. This is a boring superhero movie. Yes. Now you stay home and watch Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol.
So, any final thoughts on Modok or Harley Quinn?
Modok needs a second season. Harley Quinn should have a movie.
Can I bring one more topic up?
Yeah.
I feel like this is like, I feel like with the success, definitely with the success of Harley Quinn and the money they gave to Modok, I feel like, I wonder if Marvel was regretting canceling the Deadpool animated series that was supposed to come out on FX. If you see some of the animation test footage, it's very similar to like the Harley Quinn, maybe even similar to like the humor you saw in MODOK. And the fact that not only was it going to be a chance to have like, you know, an ultra-violent comic book animated show, but you had the talent of Donald Glover, you know, doing it. And
it would have worked. I'm telling you, it would have worked.
It would have been.
They better let Donald Glover play Prowler.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll take that chance. I mean, hopefully he'll come in and play Prowler. Well, here's the thing. Would you prefer Donald Glover coming in as Prowler in the MCU, or would you prefer them to give the green light for his version of like the Deadpool animated series?
Deadpool, hands down.
Yeah, hands down. I'm curious to see how he'd own Deadpool as himself. Yeah,
Deadpool, hands down. He would rock.
Are you guys okay if I share my screen real quick?
Yes,
real quick. Yes.
Real quick. Is this it right here?
Yep. I think so, yeah.
Like, I'll try and find a way to zoom this in. But, so they actually had footage of this.
They did.
I think it was like test footage, like, you know, like for them to like, you know, try to, you know, they got to show something to like the suits and all that. So, yeah.
Wow.
I think you can even find, I did see a version of it where you can see it fully animated, but they used audio from one of the other Deadpool movies because it was Ryan Reynolds' voice from another movie. But
wow,
yeah. And they even have like a script somewhere too, and not a full script, but yeah,
so it would have been great.
Because I know we mentioned this, like you guys talked about. So when was it originally pitched, and then when was it like nixed? Was it like a year later, or because this thing looks like
it was a year after the movie?
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, Deadpool 2 definitely didn't come out yet, and
no, Deadpool 2.
I don't think there was anything official about Marvel. Nowhere close to it about Marvel consuming Fox. So FXX was. Well, this was also when FXX had Legion.
Oh yeah, it would have been perfect.
And Legion was an amazing show too. So
I need to watch that too.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely the first season was great. Second season was decent. I do need to watch the third season, but it's definitely worth watching. It was like
first season was great. Second season was decent.
Yeah, second season was like there was a lot because with a character like Legion, there's so much to do. So I can see the challenges.
He's still Xavier's son, right?
Yeah, they definitely they don't ignore that. I don't recall them mentioning him by name, but they definitely
heavily.
Obviously, they say, yeah, your father is one of the most powerful mutants ever. Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Well, whoever knew about the character before the show already knew that.
About what?
Whoever knew about the character before the show came out already knew that. So
yeah.
I didn't really spoil.
I read the comics, so I knew about it.
That's my neck beard. My trilby comes on. So, by the way, back in 1990 blank, when Legion when he embraced the timeline instead of Mutant Apocalypse, like killing Xavier on accident.
So, how do we know Ryan Reynolds didn't help nix this project because he was afraid Donald Glover would take it as his own?
I'd be so mad if he did that.
Could you imagine? That's my conspiracy theory. Sorry.
I'd be ashamed. I'd be like, I'm disappointed. I'm like, Ryan, I'm disappointed. I'm not even mad. I'm disappointed.
Well, I mean, there was rumors, and I think there's rumors that, Margot Robbie and Kelly Kuko were like, snobbing each other. but I think there were rumors. And if that was true, I'm like, come on, like it's like.
Wait, who's Kevin? What?
So Kelly Kuko is the voice of Harley Quinn in the animated show, and then you got Margot Robbie. There was rumors that Margot Robbie and Kelly were like, snobbing each other, like throwing shade at each other.
I don't see why. So what are the closing remarks?
I remember reading an article. It was one of those articles where they said, "Oh, they tweeted this," but then there was like a like, or I'm like, like how people always try to start rumors based on social media interaction.
Yeah. She liked this tweet that said her Harley Quinn was better than
something like that. Yeah,
it could just be professional, like competitiveness. You know what I mean?
Which Well, I don't mind. I mean, competition's fine. I just, want good things to come out of it.
Yes. It's also not the same medium. Margaret's a live-action Harley, and she's not. So, and the same audience is going to watch both most of the time.
And we're talking about like different types of universe, different tones.
Yes, it's not even the same universe.
Like, I mean, I would have been okay, if there were other popular outlets for any of the Avengers, I wouldn't mind. Like, I remember,
the game came out, but not really anybody's playing it. By Squaresoft.
Oh yeah, that's terrible. I think it's garbage.
Which one?
The Avengers game for PS4.
Oh yeah. So that's an example of, I don't mind you guys doing your own thing, but do something good with it. And then, that was bland. But I remember shortly after the Incredible Hulk came out. Okay, and I don't love it like pack photos here, but I don't hate it either. But
I like it.
Since Universal technically, and they might even still have the rights to the Hulk, NBC was going to do a Hulk TV show, and it was going to be, the showrunner was going to be Guillermo del Toro.
Ooh.
And even and this was like beginning of the MCU. I'm pretty sure an Avengers movie was on its way, and I was excited for that. But I would have also very much loved to see Guillermo del Toro version of the Hulk. Man.
Yeah, I love this work with Hellboy, so I can only imagine how his Hulk would have looked like.
Right, he'll definitely like have a lot of good visuals. Maybe
Pan's
visuals
Labyrinth
that
is still my favorite
top,
movie
but
of 2007.
And he's very good with the tragic characters, the characters that become monsters. I mean, that's his specialty. So, yeah. So that's probably another example of, you kind of wish these studios had more balls. Had more balls to do this Hulk, had more balls to do a Deadpool. Like
Silent Hill with him and Hideo Kojima would have been fucking amazing, but Konami just said no, besides.
Yeah. Oh, really? That Konami nixed it?
Yeah. Like, wow. I'm like, that was the dumbest decision you could have done as a company.
Yeah.
Is it Konami? Is it because Konami hates money?
Yes. I think they're allergic to money, allergic to fans.
Yeah.
That's their symptom. It's allergic reaction.
Success.
They're allergic to success. That's it.
On the topic of shows that could have happened, I heard recently that there's a Shang-Chi coming out. Stan Lee wanted a Shang-Chi TV series. Did you guys hear about this? And he wanted Brandon Lee to be Shang-Chi. How ridiculous would that have been?
Back then?
Imagine having that come out in the 90s, and that would probably help like jumpstart Asian representation.
It would have, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, now we got, what's that show that is now, it was based on a show Bruce Lee tried to do, and it's now on HBO.
I watched both seasons. It's amazing.
What is
Warrior?
It?
Warrior is amazing.
I gotta watch that.
So the reason why you guys should watch it, you have to watch it. It's based off some history of San Francisco, but it uses living people from back then.
Yeah.
I just when we're gonna stop this podcast, I want you to watch a piece of the first episode in the next week or two. If you can, do it tonight. But I finished season 2. I'm ready to talk about it. Oh my!
All right, I'm gonna watch it. That's the next.
It's worth it. I watched it and didn't tell anybody. Then I told one person. They started watching. They're like, "Man," I said, "Yes." His daughter funded it. They got a good writer. They mix the ancient and the 1800s with modern. You'll see. Oh man, I'm gonna talk about it right now.
I'd be down.
Was it called Warrior? You said?
Yeah, it's on HBO Max now. It was a Cinemax original, and now it's on HBO Max. Don't ask me how.
So maybe that's the thing that I'm grateful for. Like, I know HBO Max might not be. I don't know if it's my favorite streaming service, but since it's not Disney, it is like, maybe willing to. I'm not saying the entire company. Like, WB clearly has issues with trying to get good content out there, but at least there are individuals within these, like individual creators, when they're willing to do all these like different things. Like, I love the MCU. I love like kind of like everything like coming together, but at the same time,
change his name to Shill, please. Let's just.
And the problem is, WB
I want different things too.
Yes.
Yeah.
WB has really good properties that don't need their help. They need no suit influence. Neither Realm Studios with everything Mortal Kombat and DC AU. Just let it be and stop trying to put your little grubby fingers all over it. Just you don't read and watch the stuff, so stop. I want them to watch this podcast to correct me directly. Excuse me, I know I wear a suit, but I do watch and read these comics and play Mortal Kombat. Like, no, you don't. You got an intern that doesn't know shit.
God, I'd love for them to fucking watch. Dude, I didn't realize this thing's got 2 seasons.
Yes.
Holy shit.
It's good. I'm ready for a third, but if it doesn't
probably
get a third,
didn't watch it. It was on Cinemax because it's hard to get content from there. But now that HBO Max, I have no excuse. So I definitely gotta watch it.
Watch it so we can talk about it tomorrow. Not on the podcast yet, but just in general.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about that first.
Any more closing notes?
No, I think you've already closed it up for us pretty well. So
watch Warrior.
Yeah, go up to
representation.
The next one. But thank you guys for watching. Like always, from Albie, a fun guy, myself, Carson Daly. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We are